exploring the worldwide online gaming market, regulation, trends, and investment opportunities.
So let's just dive right into it. So obviously, online gaming market has been, hello? There we go, yeah. So it's been booming. We've seen a lot of new technological advances coming in the market on a weekly basis, if not daily. So what do you think, it's for you, Cordelia, so according to you, what do you think are the primary drivers behind the exponential growth of the online gaming market in the last 5 years?
So I think there are really a number of factors here at play. I think one of the main ones is the niche market in which we all operate in. The skill sets required are becoming more niche year on year. And what we've seen is, from a really interesting human capital perspective, and I guess this is where my experience comes most into play, is the shift in power between employer and employee. So what we saw historically over the last 10 years was that the employer held all the power, everything from salaries to location to where people had to work and the hours they had to work. And it's just fascinating to see that over the last 5 years, this shifted to become more employee-centric. You have businesses offering crazy benefits, amazing benefits, but things that were very much out of scope from 5 years before that. But what is so interesting is that it is again shifting. So what we saw 5 years ago and when COVID was really underway was that a lot of people returned to their country of origin, and businesses that hadn't been remote first, they had to become remote first. But now in Malta especially, we're seeing that businesses are requesting and requiring people to come back to the office. Is remote success? I don't know. That's something that we really will need to look at. But I think that this is really interesting because you have pockets of very knowledgeable, experienced people in different locations, but you also now have a war on talent. So if you want to hire a really strong developer in Serbia, for example, previously this person would have commanded maybe below what the European market salary would have been. Now you have to pay the same as what you would pay in Europe. And I think that this is something which businesses are having to continue to evolve. And this is really where me and my business, we come in to consult companies and business owners to help support them through this, because the market and the landscape is constantly evolving and changing.
Okay, Aram?
I believe the main driver for this such a amazing growth, exponential growth, is actually accessibility of the games. Nowadays, the mobile internet is more and more accessible comparing to specific markets. One of the key markets like Brazil had like 65% of mobile penetration 5 years ago, and they have now 85%. And the overall technology is pushing the industry on, and the players in the market that follow up with the technology, they always enjoy better market positions. So this is the main driver. I believe people and technology basically come up with a situation when in the overall, alongside with the accessibility, more of our responsible gaming issues arise, which are being followed up accordingly based on the market legislation. On the other side, every year more and more players are joining the industry. They expand the market, and they have very specific requirements on their side. They are brought up with a mobile gaming as such, and they require more than just a win. They more experience. They want more storyline in the games, and they want more socializing. So this is the reason why people search more in such games, in such content, and basically they push the overall industry forward. I believe the industry in the overall will quadruple within like 10 years or 15 years. And alongside some new technological innovations, push this even further. Hopefully that new technology, use of metaverse will change a lot in iGaming. Augmented reality will change a lot in iGaming. And at some point, it will be even further push up.
Okay,
I think that's really interesting because although there are definitely more players active in the market, we're actually seeing within businesses that business of employee sizes are actually shrinking. And that's definitely to do, with the birth of AI. If you look at content teams where you might have needed 10 people before, now 2 people can do that role. Yeah. So I think that, again, that becomes quite an interesting trend. What will happen with big companies? Will they continue to invest heavily into AI, and then we'll see smaller businesses supporting much larger, the greater scale of things?
No, I totally agree, obviously. And since pandemic, we've seen that the whole sort of global talent pool have increased. Whereas before, it used to be that if the company's based in UK, the chances are we're going to hire people only from the UK. But since pandemic, you can hire from talent from all around the world. If you find a developer who is very good at doing a job A and he's based out in Vietnam, there's nothing stopping you to actually get that. And Aram mentioned about, obviously, the technological advancement as well, so that's fantastic. And there's a lot of big words been brought up about responsible gaming, metaverse, AI, so we'll cover all that. So touching on the responsible gaming, obviously there's been a lot of loud noise regarding stricter regulations in the gaming market. Now, which regulatory changes do you anticipate in the next few years, and how might they impact the online gaming market?
So I think from my side, the regulation changes in Curaçao are going to become huge because they require physical presence. So for businesses that are going to need to either renew their license or get a new license, they will need to have physical teams there. Of course, the population there, they're not highly skilled within gaming. So what does that mean? Do businesses then have to set up offices? Do they then have to look to recruit? And I think that this will also see a real shift in how businesses operate.
Aram?
I believe lots of changes will be in the area of KYC for players. There will be stricter requirements for data sharing from operators. So the regulators would like to know more about them. And on the other side, on the game provider side, just to be more strict on game certifications and having, just fair games. Technologies like provable fairness should be basically adopted by worldwide, basically.
Okay. Yeah, I totally agree. And obviously, just my point on that, or my 2 cents on this, I'm in favor of regulation as long as it's to protect the players, not to limit the new sort of technological advancements or limit the innovation in the way. So if everything's been done in order to make sure the players are protected and the firms are doing the things right, yeah, absolutely. It will only be good for the business and the gaming market in general to obviously grow in the next few years as well. Now, obviously, carrying on from this, KYC and regulations and AML checks. Now, considering the volatility of the cryptocurrency or digital assets, how do operators manage risks in iGaming platforms that accept crypto? Who wants to take that?
There is opportunity to diversify the portfolios. So some cryptos are growing, some cryptos are going down. Volatility is always there, so basically having a huge variety of opportunities for players. So usually crypto casinos, they have huge portfolio opportunities, and they deliver all these opportunities to the player. Right. And this will help on one side the players to decide which cryptocurrency to use. I'll give you just an example of some of them, the recently launched cryptocurrency FastX. With this regard, is one of those which could be used specifically in these volatile times. Once it's not that stable, it could be just shifted to another one.
But what do you think, they should use all the cryptocurrencies that are out there, or just stick with the top 5 or 10?
I believe there should be a huge variety of cryptocurrencies available at any crypto casino. Okay.
Cordelia, any views?
Not too many on that topic.
Well, just my 2 cents on this. Cryptocurrency, again, there is a risk, there's pros and cons to it, but I think the pros outweighs the cons here. So the casinos or the gaming platforms that accept cryptos, first of all, they can save huge on their payment processor costs because there's nothing there. You don't need any payment processors to process those. So usually, if it's $1 million turnover business a month, you can save up to 13 to 15% a month on that as well. So that's a big win for that. And also in the case of some jurisdiction, let's talk about some. For example, Venezuela, where fiat currency is practically is worthless now. So, but if you have the option where players can obviously deposit and use cryptocurrencies, that actually opens up the market for you to a whole new level. Now, in regards to the traditional markets, we have various strategies like hedging, we have diversification. What do you think could be the potential investment opportunities we can expect from the iGaming market in the near future?
So I think really what I've seen from a recruitment perspective is that businesses are investing heavily into the Asian market. We've seen a lot of businesses approaching us to recruit senior sales teams, and I think that this is really where a lot of companies are looking to focus. And again, that becomes, will businesses set up satellite offices in these locations? Will they continue to be remote? And this will then further shift the employee versus employer and the strength there.
Okay, Aram?
My personal opinion is that lots of investments will be directed to technology, to AI and machine learning opportunities. Imagine each player having their own interface of the casino, fully accommodated to their requirements, to their history, and basically based on their focus. So it will be like more personalized approach, which requires some technological leap to be achieved, and lots of investments would be directed in that direction to be able to develop such kind of platforms, really flexible, data-based, and eventually customized to every single specific player.
Okay, Cordelia?
I think one of the other trends that I've started to see, which is really fascinating, is that businesses are shedding their support teams, so from HR, from finance, but they're then hiring businesses like mine, CMC Consulting, to go in to be able to support the companies. So we're being used on a project basis to basically replace those permanent teams. And I think that we will continue to see this shift in larger companies that are downsizing. Maybe their teams of 10, 15 people, it doesn't make sense anymore. So why not hire a recruitment company that can come in, they can handle all of the recruitment. You don't need to worry about sick days, holiday. We come in, we sort things out, and then we move on. And I think that that is quite a cost-effective way as well for businesses to be able to kind of navigate the situation of where we are right now.
Okay. And so obviously we talked about AI is taking over a lot of these roles like sales, customer support, data management, AML, whatnot. How would you think the recruitment industry will be challenged in coming years compared if AI is taking over all these roles?
So I think the scaremongering of AI ruling everything and there being no jobs for anyone is just not something that is going to happen. Yeah. What I really see is that entry-level positions will start to be replaced by AI, but the machines aren't taking fully over. We will still need people on board to be able to adjust and work with the AI and to work with the teams. So you'll see businesses and content teams of 10, 20 that maybe only need 2 or 3 skilled people to be able to direct it.
Okay, perfect. Now, the big word for today, AI. So I'm sure here everyone's using ChatGPT already. My questions are from ChatGPT, so it's been working fantastic. Now, what do you guys think? How does the integration of AI and machine learning affect the player experience and the platform operations? Go on, Aram.
This is something yet to come to the full. I believe lots of people are very cautious about using this to the full, and there's like huge inhibit on the regulatory side, of course. But at some point in time, inevitably, we'll face that situation when basically AI will deliver the main efficiency on the casino side, will ensure the experience on the player side, so that it, with regard to the servicing, with regard to the game experience, with regard to the technology of delivery of the game, it will be fully at some point reliant on AI to the point that basically there would be like having same resources to be used to engage the player, but effects will be like double, triple.
But what do you think, what sort of challenges that AI can overcome when it comes to player retention?
I believe the retention issues and the challenge of retention will be overcome with this regard. The players will stay loyal and they will not even sense the presence of the AI factor whatsoever. They will basically enjoy the same game. It will be more up to them. So most challenge to overcome is the retention.
Perfect. Now, obviously, we know operators need to optimize their operations. Offering needs to be customized. What challenges do we face in harmonizing operations across countries with varying regulations?
Well, this is a quite complicated question, to be honest, and every single company has its own way to overcome this. It's very important to keep up with the regulation on one side, but always you have your own company values, and on the other side you have audience to be accommodated to. So basically, going local is the way that which is the most important one. Many companies keep the global presence, and they don't have such a geographical dispersion as such. But it's very important to be in the markets specifically to feel the front line, the frontier where it's the regulatory lines is there on one side, and the audience, the most efficient way to reach out to the players on the other side. So we just need to find a crossing and engage the local people. It's on one side resource consuming, but on the other side it's highly lucrative.
I think we can tie this also into the big remote working debate about whether having local presence or having international presence, global presence really works. Most of the businesses that I partner with are remote businesses, and I see firsthand that it does work, but I also understand the challenges, and I understand that often having more junior staff in a physical office, where as a COO that you're able to support, guide and mentor your team physically next to you, that also does have huge benefits as well. And I think that as we continue to look at new markets, we will probably need to consider satellite offices where you can then have these pockets of talent.
Perfect. Well, that was the end of the questions. Is there any questions from the audience that you'd like to ask the panelists? Oh, looks like we don't have time.
Well, we're out of time.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for coming. And it's been a pleasure, guys. Thank you so much for the panel as well.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.